and welcome! Today we're going to talk about something that I saw another author here on AuthorTube talking about, and they mentioned that it's really important to talk about this, and yeah, I agree. Plus, this kind of updates my viewers who have been watching me for a while, wondering why the heck I'm not published yet. If you're new, I am a writer who has been writing my entire life, and my dream, like so many others, is to be published. I have self-published before, but that was a while ago, and I kind of stopped trying to take the self-publishing route because I realized I'm very bad at promoting myself, like so bad at it. So I decided to try to go the traditional route, and after a couple of books went by the wayside, I finally had a book that I was ready to query, that being my retelling of Puss in Boots called Boots. But now here I am, a few years and over 100 queries later, and I still don't even have an agent. And that's the important thing that I wanted to talk to you all about, the reality of querying and the stigma that comes with not being picked up by an agent, because there totally is. A lot of us don't talk about it. The reason is that if I say my book has queried over 100 agents and none of them have picked it up, people automatically will think, well, then your book must be really bad. And that's not necessarily true. Now, can I sit here and tell you all truthfully that Boots is the best book that was ever written? It's an amazing, perfect book and everyone should want it? Of course not. But I, like many authors who are querying and have queried, can say that Boots is a good book. And I believe, although it is my book so I am biased, that it deserves to be published. And I think that's the big thing why we don't really talk about our query struggles, is that people tend to believe that the reason a book doesn't get published is because it's bad. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of books out there that are not published for good reason, and heck, maybe I've even written one. It's really impossible to tell. But there are also a million other reasons why your book doesn't get picked up by an agent. I don't have a clear idea of why Boots wasn't picked up. Unfortunately for me, all of the agents that I queried were really uncommunicative as far as why they decided not to have it. It was just form letters across the board. Now, of course, you cannot go back and harass or ask these agents why they didn't pick you. If you were not picked, you have to move on. And naturally, I did. Unfortunately, that leaves me with very few answers as to why Boots wasn't picked up. I suspect that perhaps it was too long, but without knowing that for sure, I'm not quite ready to dive back in and start trimming whole scenes out of the book. So my plan for Boots is to put it on the back burner for a little while and see if I can get my next book, which I am querying now, which is my sci-fi working title, The Game. I know it's a shitty title. I'm hoping an agent can help me find a better one. The Game has been querying for a few months, and I did kind of slow down when the pandemic hit, because even though agents are working from home and stuff, I just wanted to back off a little bit. But even the agents that I had queries out to when the pandemic started have been nothing but crickets. I've heard nothing back from anyone. So I suppose the question is, what do I do if The Game doesn't get picked up either? I'm in this constant loop of feeling like I have to justify myself. Like, how do you know your book is good? How do you know all of your books don't suck? Well, I have no proof, but I have been writing an incredibly long time. None of these are my first book. I have written so many books that I have edited and set aside, decided weren't my thing, gone through the beta process and didn't know what I wanted to do after that, and so they put them on the back burner. So it's not like I'm going into this fresh as a newborn babe who has only written one book in their entire life. So at least I have that, the knowledge that I have the practice behind me to know that my book is not completely inept. And that's all I can really say for sure. But what do I do if nobody wants The Game either? It is an adult sci-fi, and sci-fi is kind of a hard sell, especially if you are a woman. Hello. And also, it's kind of in a weird place, because when you get something that's a hard sci-fi, i.e. it's set in space and there are spaceships and ray guns, you expect a kind of a certain thing, which The Game kind of isn't, because I tend to write very character-focused and character-driven books. The game is mostly about the characters, their hardships and struggles, and the fact that some of them are aliens and they happen to be in space is not the main point of the story. So there's a very real chance, and I'm prepared for it, that the game is not going to sell either. What the heck do I do then? Well, I have another book. It is The Last Mage Killer, and I'll probably start editing that and try to get that ready for agents, because that's all you really can do. If you are in the query trenches, you have to be the most determined and tenacious person that there is. If nobody wants one book, you gotta throw another one at them. I'm in this for the long haul. I can keep rolling with the punches.
How many of those have you got? 50.
But something nobody tells you when you're starting out is how darn crushing the query process is. You may be on Twitter and following these authors who are like, yay, I got picked up by an agent, yay, my book sold. But you don't really see too many people talking about how big of a struggle it is. But it is a way more common experience than the people who are experiencing getting picked up by agents. According to my brief research, only 1 to 2% of authors who query ever get published. Damn, and there's a lot of people querying right now. The weird thing that gives me personally hope, and this is not going to work for everybody, is that I also happen to be an asexual. And according to some places, only 1% of the world's population are asexual, with about 10% of the world's population being on the spectrum of asexuality. And so looking at it that way, I go, I wound up in the 1% of something, just happened to wind up there. So, who's to say it's impossible that I wind up there again? What was this video really for? I don't know. If anybody stuck through it, thank you. I think what I just want to say is, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm struggling. Yes, I am failing a lot. I'm getting rejected left, right, and sideways. And I don't think I'm going to be one of those authors who, when they do get published, dismisses their previous books as crap. That's one thing that kind of bothers me. When I see a published author like talking about their, oh, I got published finally, but I had 2 other books that I queried beforehand that I'm just going to put on the back burner and give up on. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those people, because I think Boots deserves to be published. I think the game deserves to be published. And so if nobody wants them traditionally, I'm probably just going to self-publish them. And there's a big stigma about that too. What, was your book not good enough to be traditionally published? Well, then I guess self-publish that crap. I also hate that stigma, and you can fight me. Now, are there lots and lots of bad books that are being self-published? Yeah. But there are also a lot of very flawed books that are getting traditionally published as well, so yeah. I will also be self-publishing a book separate from all of this, hopefully sometime this year, so you'll be able to read it and tell me whether you think that it is worthy of the pantheon of published books. But basically, if you are out there and you are in the same place as me, where you've been rejected over and over again, where you're starting to feel like maybe you suck as a writer or your books don't have value, I'm here to tell you that there are way more of us feeling that way, stuck in those trenches, than there are people who have succeeded. And we just have to keep driving forward if this is our dream. And I, for one, will not give you a hard time here on this channel if you decide to self-publish instead. I hope this video was interesting, at least for a few people. I know it was rambly. I didn't have any notes. I was just kind of talking. So I hope that you at least got something out of it. And if you are someone stuck in the query trenches who's been stuck for a while, give me a shout down in the comments. Let me know that. Prove with me that there are more of us than there are people getting picked up by agents. That way all of us authors cannot feel so alone all the time. If you like videos about bookish and writerly things, this channel is full of them. I have been doing this for a hot minute. So go check out the rest of my content. It's all in playlists for easy binging. It's a good time. If you must have brand new videos, only the newest, freshest videos will do. I put out new videos Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes on Saturdays. And if you want even more than that, you can check me out on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can have access to exclusive content not seen here on the regular channel, including more regular updates of my personal writing journey. I tend to be more personal over there with my patrons just because it feels like they really came there for that kind of experience. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo if you want to keep up with me and also probably see lots of pictures of my pets. You know what to do. Click away. And I will see all of you again next time with whatever randomness I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Whoa, look out! It's time for patrons! Those patrons are Adrienne, Amanda, Artemis, Irene, Jenny, Jesper, Lisa, Ray, Ryakio, Sabby Panda, Savvy, Scribbling Cat, Shelby, and Zaire. Whoa, look out! Oh, they're so awesome! Check them all out! Uh-oh, running out of breath, but I got stamina. Uh-oh, running now, I close my eyes. Oh, I got stamina. Uh-oh, see another mountain to climb, but I got stamina. Uh-oh, I need another love in my mind, 'cause I got stamina.